No, you're going to get it together today.
Welcome to You're On in 5, The Art of Understudying.
The only podcast to celebrate the work of actors in understudy roles.
Understudying demands tons of preparation with minimal rehearsal.
Or sometimes none at all.
But it can end in triumphant glory.
In these conversations, we'll amplify the diverse voices of actors who have understudied. We want to hear about the artist's technique, experience, and journey.
As well as whatever's on our mind that day.
Hey! Welcome to the podcast. I'm your co-host, Elana Elise, and for the first time in years, you might know me from Mary Jane at Northlight Theater earlier this year.
Yeah! And I'm your other co-host, Scott Sava. You might know me from working box office at the Annoyance Theater on Friday nights. And our guest today is David Lipschutz, who you might know from Trog? Were you in Trog?
Yeah, I was in Trog. I was in 3 performances of Trog. It was actually an understudy performance I might talk about today.
There we go. You were understudying the titular Trog?
I was hairy enough to be understudying the titular Trog, but I actually was a replacement. Trog had left for the extension, and an actor who was in the ensemble went on for Trog, and I went on for the ensemble track. And I got to wear short booty shorts. It was great.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I'm remembering. So, David, we love to start the show with our very first question, which is how you would start any show. What was your first understudy gig?
So I thought long and hard about this, and there may have been an understudy role like in high school or junior high that I did, but honestly, I think the first understudy role that really meant something was in 2009. I technically understudied Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with Helena Handbag. I wasn't officially an understudy because I wasn't part of the cast. What happened was I saw the play like December 15th of that year, and on December 26th, the day after Christmas, I got a call at 6 p.m. from the artistic director, David Serta, saying, our Herbie is in a blizzard in Arkansas. Can you go on tonight? And I go, I've seen the show once. And isn't the show in like an hour? And he goes, it's okay. You can have a clipboard on stage with your script in hand, and we'll push you around the stage. And I was like, I was in the middle of studying for the bar exam I've just graduated law school. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of studying for the bar exam right now. And so I could use a break. Why not? I had a big beard like I do right now. And Herbie, as you know, is very clean shaven, coiffed blonde hair. And I said, do you want me to shave for it? And he goes, no, it'll add to the last minute disarray if you keep the full beard. And so there's actually a photo of me out there. I'll try and find it and send it to you. But of like the blonde wig and like this just like ragged beard that like bar exam prep beard that I had. And I was honestly like it's since then I've done so many understudy roles because that experience was so much fun. Like it was nerve-wracking, like crazy, but like the adrenaline that came with it. I mean, I had solos. I had songs to myself, and I was like, I don't know, I don't know this song. Like we ran it once. The hardest thing that was like difficult was I had to sing a song in the round, and I was like, I don't know this song. How do I sing it while other people are singing with me, but like against me at the same time? Yeah, it was and it was recorded. It was like that was the filmed performance. So yeah,
Wow.
it was so much fun that I was like, you know what? I love understudying. I know that's a very unique experience, but um, I started loving understudying after that.
Wow, and that also answers a question we sometimes ask, which is, have you had a you're on in five experience where it's like when you weren't even an understudy? I love that.
Yeah. And that would have been right after we did Poseidon in 2009, right?
Correct, correct.
Which you played multiple roles in that, or like multiple different tracks, right?
No, I just played one character the entire run. I was
Wow. And we ran for like 4 or 5
Yeah,
months.
it ran for a while. I was
Yeah.
offered. I left the show like a month before it closed, and in that time there was one track that someone called out, and I was asked to step in for that, but I couldn't that night, and I was bummed because it was the guy who plays with dolls monologue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been really fun to do. Um, but I know you did many tracks in that show.
I did. I did my one track, which was like one of the seamen. That's not the right word for what we said. um and Nani, and then I came back as Nani's
Yeah,
brother, I
Ted.
think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With the stubbled beard. That was cute. Awesome. Yeah. Did you only go on for that one performance?
Yeah, I only went in for that one performance. The main actor was able to get a flight in the next day. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and um, I don't think they had any understudies for that show. Like, it's not, it wasn't as commonplace probably before COVID, really, that
Right.
storefront theaters weren't going to pay people who weren't actually performing.
Yeah.
Did you take and pass the bar?
I did, I did, I did, and I
Congratulations.
got something on my resume at the same
At
time.
the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
David, can you tell us a little bit about your like day job, like what your day job situation is?
Yeah, well, since I was studying for the bar in 2009, I've been practicing law for 16 years. I'm only 22, but I've been practicing law for 16 years. Um, and yeah, I work at a small firm. We represent financial institutions and all sorts of litigation. So I handle uh, uh, bench trials. I do bankruptcies. I do foreclosures. My favorite thing that I do is something called debt news, which are basically vehicle foreclosures, and they just have the most fun stories. I can't talk about it on here because I
No,
could be
of course.
disbarred.
Yes, of course.
Sure. How have you found the balance between that and your acting gigs?
Um, at theater is my oasis where I can turn my brain off. Like I know for a lot of people, like that's like where the brain gets turned on, but I actually love like diving into the artistry universe. Whether it's performing or other elements of theater that I work on, that I um, uh, it's nice to not think about law. Like once 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, depending on the day, rolls around, that if I'm doing a show that night, that I can just like relax and then go to the theater and live a different life.
That's awesome. What was your most recent understudy gig?
Oh, I guess the elephant is in the room. Or that's not the expression. I was gonna say
Is the elephant in the room with us? I think that's
so my most recent understudy gig was doing Angels in America over at Invictus. I understudied Lewis, and I want to say like right up front, before talking about it, that I'm fully aware of the situation. Like I keep following everything that people are saying, and I I agree, abuse is not art, and I believe the victims, and I think that's very important um, to say here. I've not really had an opportunity, a platform, so to speak, to be able to say something like that. So, um, and I know it's a very poignant topic right now in the Chicago theater world, and so I just wanted to say that.
Moving on.
Okay, and we can bounce back after you did the did the that first thing that David called you for. Did you intentionally pursue understudy opportunities?
You know, I like, I'm sure 20s, David, because this was mid to late 20s, I think, when I did that first understudy gig. I would think it was 25, 26. Um,
Mm.
that I'm sure early 20s David was so pompous that he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna check mark understudy. Like, oh, I'm a perform only." And I after that, yeah, I was checking understudy left and right. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wait. Like this I get to sit in the space and watch people create and kind of see what they're doing and whether or not like I know that may be a question down the road about like how do you treat it when when you go on and you do something different with the what the main the overstudy does, but you know I love sitting in the back of the theater and taking notes and watching and like I don't normally mouth along because I've seen other understudies do that and I always think it's so ridiculous. Um,
It's so weird.
uh, um, but the I love yeah, I love it. I love it. And so if usually if it's a production that I'm just really interested in, um I would be happy to be an understudy. Like it's a rare occurrence when I'm like, no, I would only want to be in the cast.
And so, what was your next memorable one after that first one?
The next one was also with Handbag. You'll notice a trend that
Ah.
I think that's in my bio that I was pretty much Handbag's resident understudy. Um, and it was I think in 2011 I went on as a replacement in Trog as discussed. But the story with that because at least I got a rehearsal. I got a rehearsal and I knew a week in advance, so I watched the performances for a full weekend, saw everything I was going to be doing, and the actor who I was understudying was still in the cast, so he was very like mama bear with me, making sure I knew everything that I was supposed to do, even though he had a full track of he had the lead title role track. Um, but the thing that I remember was we had to do this like hula dance thing, and it was theater in the round in the basement of the Chopin, but it really wasn't the round. It was in the diagonal.
Nobody had a good seat.
Yeah, I almost did the producers comment just
Yeah.
now. But it was like two sections had like 4 seats, and then one section had 10 seats, and then one section had 50 seats. It made no sense. I'm in the section with 50 seats, and there was no micless system. So all the mics had chords with them. And whenever a song was sung, that's when the character who was singing would pick up a mic. And I'm doing this hula dance thing in front of the 50 section, and my mom and one of my BFFs are sitting in the front row, like they're as close as my computer is to me right now. It's a very intimate space. And I start doing the hula dance, which I'm already feeling very silly because I can see my mom laughing at me. And I sit like we're supposed to sit on the edge of the stage, and as I sit, apparently I sat on the mic cord, And so Serta is behind me with the microphone trying to pull it, and I've got the person next to me like scoots me up, and so I scoot up and I sit back down because I'm like, oh, I scooted up so they could get whatever they needed below me, and I sat right back down. And as soon as I did that, I got scooted up again, like pushed up, and I almost fell into my mom. Like it was so embarrassing. And I Scott will tell you I break character really easily. So I'm doing the hula dance and I'm already broken character. But I finally the mic the cord gets unstuck. I sit back down and I'm ready to do my next dance move, and Serta smacks me on the back of the head. And so I stopped doing the dance. I'm done. Like the entire side of the audience is laughing at me and being a complete idiot. And that was another, like, I loved that. Like I had a blast being a complete and utter embarrassment. Like that's I don't know. Like I think understudies, we get a lot more leeway, but we also, with the exception of Sir smacking me on the back of the head, we get very protected by the people in the show. Like
That's true.
they all want the understudies to succeed. The audience wants the understudy to succeed. So it's almost like a savior complex. Doing an understudy track is that you're like, well, I'm gonna save the day. And so it's such a joy to do every single time.
I love that.
That's awesome. Did you have so it kind of sounds like these were ones where you were brought in kind of as an emergency somewhat. I mean, you had a little bit more time with Trog, but what was like what was the most memorable one that you were in the room from day one? And how did that change your process?
Well, actually, I'd say one of the best experiences was at the table with Broken Nose.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire understudy cast that was individual. Like every overstudy had an understudy, and so it was great because like we got to just focus on one role. Always a fun thing as an understudy, and I became friends with everyone who was in the understudy cast in that show. We would have rehearsals at people's houses or at people's apartments. And usually there'd be booze involved just for fun, like because it was an unofficial rehearsal. So we wouldn't drink during. We would have drinks after. I swear. But dogs would be invited too, and that's the best part. Yeah, and with that show, like we also had the assistant director was our designated director for the understudy cast, and we also got to work hands-on with the overstudy cast as well.
That's awesome.
Did you go
that
on?
was fun. I did. We had 2 understudy shows, but I did go on with the main cast. 3 times, I think. And I remember because what they would do as a warm-up was they would run the first, I don't know, 10 pages of script, which really in the end was only like 2 minutes of time because it was such a fast-paced play. And I remember sitting there because we're all sitting around the table as they start the scene, and they're on page 6 and I'm still on page 3. I'm like, what? How did we? And they said every understudy that's gone on, it's the same exact thing, that they just don't expect the breakneck speed that the main cast has developed.
Yeah.
And so like I knew once because we ran it again, I was able to keep up with them. And when we did the show, it was so exhilarating. Like because my character, he's this nice guy throughout the whole thing. He's kind of a jerk at the end. And I've never really played jerks very or like serious jerks. Like I played goofy jerks, but
Yeah.
um like to like let out this different kind of emotion on stage while dealing with the adrenaline of like I just got through this show, this like very difficult show. And I remember when doing the bows, I think I started tearing up, not because I was sad, but I was just like, it was just like overwhelmed. It was like an overwhelming experience. So that was really fun.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to ask a question.
No, I was just remembering the show fondly.
Oh, okay. Nice. Who was your assistant director for that? Do you remember?
So JD Caudle was our assistant director for the extension. I apologize, I don't remember who our assistant director was for the original run.
Way to go, Scott.
He's the one that didn't remember it.
Well, throw me under the bus, why don't you? But speaking of throwing under the bus, I don't. One of the things I did want to mention, and I don't think he knows I'm good. You said it's okay to name names. It's okay to not name names. I want to name a name because I messed with him so much during that show that it's only appropriate to bring up during this podcast. And he will listen to it and he will laugh. Jannard was in it. Now I'm blanking on his last name. I'm such a jerk. I do this thing where I mention Jannard and then I don't remember his last name.
Don't remember his last
name. He's screaming at the podcast right now. So he was in the main cast. And what because I was being respectful. Like that's a show where you have to like be really like because everything moves so fast, you can't really screw around and like do a lot of like extra things to make it your own. But there was one thing I did to make it my own, and that's in this moment where we're supposed to be very goofy and I'm like hiding. I started poking Jannard on stage. Just like, well, he was okay with it. But I started poking him like, hey, I'm over here, and he gave me this death glare, and we've been friends ever since. It was Jannard Washington was his name. Is his name.
Glad that came to you.
I wanted to say Washington, but what if I was wrong?
Yeah, being wrong would have probably been worse.
But he's wonderful. I keep seeing I see him in lots of shows, and we want to work together again. So we like each other. I promise this was all in fun doing.
We believe you. I mean, but he'll tell us what's
He's our next guest, actually.
Play this for him. That's awesome.
He's like, yeah, I remember when David did that. Totally threw me off.
What was would you say that what was your most difficult understudy gig?
With that I'll have to say it was probably Angels in America.
Fair enough.
I mean, it was an 8-hour show, and
what it was?
It's
like sit down for 8 hours and watch a play.
It was 2 parts. So it had part 1 was about 4 hours, and part 2. Well, part 1 was about 3.5 hours, and part 2 was about 4. Well, 4 hours plus.
What was this like? How long was the break?
Oh, it was running rep. So I think there was.
Oh, I get it.
There were like 7. And there were multiple acts. Like it wasn't just 2 acts each time. And so learning that, like it was very fortunate because we had understudy rehearsal every week, and that was another show where it was every actor had an individual understudy. Every character had every performer had an individual understudy because most people played multiple parts. And but memorizing, I had like I had like, I don't know, 50 scenes, some insane amount. And so I remember I my goal was learn because I was like learn a new scene a day once everything had been blocked kind of thing.
Mm.
And that like by opening I'll have learned all the scenes. Um and I remember the scene I saved for last was Lewis has like a 4-page monologue uh, that he just and it's all nonsense. It's not nonsense. Tony Kushner was very specific in what he wrote, but it seems like nonsense. Uh,
Mhm.
just going on tangent after tangent after tangent, and
Right.
I was like, that's gonna be the hardest thing to learn. And even because I got to perform 6 or 7 times throughout the run. So I got to perform what 26 hours, 28 hours. That's like a
Yeah.
normal run for people.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, that was that scene I always I stumbled no matter what I did just because it's so many different places. But I just would do like a, and it kind of worked in the character.
So that was such an exceptional circumstance,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It was challenging for everyone. So then now, well, I'm very impressed. I don't want to
Yeah,
mislead
of
you.
course.
I think that's fantastic how you did that work and that you went on. So, did you have any challenging experiences in a like normal show, a show that's not 8 hours? You know what I mean? Like that's like top of the top. That was gonna be difficult, but is there anything else? Because now you know you can do anything, obviously, right? There's nothing to scare you at this point, but at some point, maybe something was a little wonky.
Um, uh, Probably an experience that was a it wasn't that it was scary, it was that it was like kind of momentous. Was I understudied several tracks in Evil Dead the musical, and including Ash, who is the main character, and I got to go on for one rehearsal as when we did a run of the show as Ash, and I didn't even know if my voice could handle it because he's singing throughout the whole thing while doing physical comedy, and so I got through it. My voice cracked a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but I knew if I had to go on, I could do it, and so that was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in the show as a character called Fake Shemp, which is I was basically a glorified ASM. Um, but I did have one line of dialogue, uh, and I played various set pieces throughout as well. No, literally played set pieces, and I did understudy a couple other tracks, and I did go on for a couple other tracks. I also assistant directed the show, and I was the fight captain. I wore a lot of hats, and
Sounds
it
like
was
it.
very much worth my time. Um, I'm also obsessed with the Evil Dead series and Bruce Campbell, and so just to be involved in any capacity was like kind of a dream come true. Um, even
And then you got to be involved in every capacity.
yeah, pretty much. Um, and I got to be killed in various ways. I did uh, for the for both the I got to be a headless character in one scene as well. Also fun.
That all of that sounds like a lot of fun.
How'd you handle juggling those different tracks for that show in particular?
Different colored highlighter pens.
Good. Yeah.
And then and then for notes about like stage directions and stuff like that, it's those are also in different color pens. Um, or I'll highlight them, but very specific about because yeah, there was one show that it was a handbag show, that I essentially understudied the entire cast. Um,
Mm.
and that you should have seen that script. It was a rainbow, and I was able to follow everything. I I'm able to follow my own chicken scratch and my own uh, language that I put in notes. I don't think anyone else would be able to, even if I was just understudying one character. I don't think someone could pick it up and be like, oh, well, like he clearly does these actions. It's
Yeah.
very much like my brain.
Yeah, when I was just directing a show in Western Springs, and I at one point, like, I copied my entire script for our stage manager, and then, like, I was like, my script with all my notes of everybody's blocking and everything, and, like, I know what it means to me, but, like, I was thinking that when I copied it, it would be like, oh, here you go, you could step in for me like that easy. And then, like, the more I thought about it, I was like, no, oh, no, 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 this is a mess. Well, again, if I'm in charge of it, it's not a mess. But if I give it to somebody else and they try to make sense of it, it would be a mess.
When when
So
you're doing a run and giving notes after, are you ever like, beautiful, I don't know what that meant. Or work on,
sometimes,
I don't know what that meant. Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes, not too often actually though. But yeah, what was that handbag show that you did, everybody?
Lady X the musical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, this is kind of for that and the Evil Dead the musical. Like, how do you differentiate, like, dancing, singing, between characters?
I'm a mover, not a dancer. And
Uh-huh.
so they're pretty much the same for every character. If I can if I can get through it without being a complete embarrassment, then I'm pretty happy. Uh, uh, Actually, that's with those shows that wasn't as much of a concern. I I
Sure.
it I also I was in and then understudied a role in SpongeBob the musical and
Oh yeah.
or the SpongeBob musical, and that was something that involved better dancing for the role I was understudying than the actual role I was playing. Um, and the choreographer knew that. She knew my strengths. Um, and so I was in the back row as my main character, and but I had to be in the front row when I was the when I went on as the understudy track. And uh, I the only difference really was I did the front row with more confidence.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna look like I know what I'm doing.
Yep. And sometimes audiences just appreciate that. Like
Yeah,
in a
Yeah.
very real way, like you commit, you're doing the thing, and that's what they're there to see. It's great. I do
True.
have a question before we go to break. What like when did you start acting?
I started acting when I was 6 years old, um, which is 36 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a production of The King and I in the south suburbs of Chicago,
Dig that.
and I was hooked. I was hooked.
Yeah. And then so what how did you get on the attorney track?
If you watch my bar mitzvah video, I am yes, I believe it's on on demand. Um, uh, if you watch my bar mitzvah video, I'm interviewed by the woman who was recording the party, and she asked, "What do I want to be when I grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a lawyer." And I think I was obsessed with Law and Order at the time, which is ironic because my favorite character was Jerry Orbach, who was the detective,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to be the lawyer side of things. I did not want to be the detective side of things. And my response was, well, she said, "Why do you want to be a lawyer?" And I said, "Lawyers are just well-paid actors."
Oh, look at you.
And it's honestly the biggest hams I've ever seen are in court.
I believe it.
Like the audacity of some of these attorneys, like they're clearly acting right now. They do not actually believe what they're saying.
Yeah, I think that a lot when I'm watching Dateline and some of the defense attorneys. Like, I'm like, you know, you're not even for real right now.
Yeah,
So
I don't know how they keep it up.
it's amazing. Money, they keep
Oh
it
yeah,
up
oh yeah,
'cause they're
that'll do
paid
it.
to do it.
Yeah. We solved it.
Yep.
Great.
I'm
This is a good time for a break. We'll be right back with David Lipschutz. Welcome back to You're On in 5.
And now let's go off book
And find out who even are you?
with the Understudy podcast,
Quirky
Quirky Questionnaire. All right, David, we're going to ask you some questions. And the first one is, do you know your first words?
No, I need to ask my parents.
You should
That's a
ask
great
your
question. I can't believe I don't know. My mom's gonna be like, it was Mama.
That's good.
Probably.
It was
David-
Shakespeare.
Right. Do you know what your earliest memory is? I mean,
I
you must
remember-
have a one.
I remember that I couldn't stand, like I had trouble like walking on 2 feet for a long time. And so I would do like this crab walk. And I remember that. I remember like walking like a crab where like my butt was out in the air. And my mom, my family thought that was the funniest thing. I mean, I'm sure if I saw like my nephew or my niece walking like that when they were 1, that I would be laughing at them. But I remember doing that. I have a vivid memory, even though I'm sure it's like a false memory of like just from photos and from my family making fun of me.
It might be a real Say, can you keep a secret?
Yes.
Okay, good. I believe you.
A follow-up question, not a new question. What's your deepest secret?
My own personal deepest secret?
Yeah. It's a
Um,
trick question. You're supposed to not answer.
But if it's
You're
my
supposed to,
own,
like-
I'm allowed to reveal to you.
Oh.
I'm not giving you
Oh,
someone
okay.
else's deepest secret.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us. Let's hear it.
My deepest secret is I actually enjoy working with Scott Sava.
I wouldn't tell anybody that.
Okay, I'll keep it. Give me I'm sorry, my internet went out again.
That was AI. It was filling in the gaps.
David, now this one is important. That was a follow-up.
That was a
forgot. So
follow-up.
you tricked me. You play too much. Go ahead.
David, what is the best way to get rid of hiccups?
Oh, scare someone.
Are you saying that from
No.
experience, or just that's what you heard works?
That you're supposed to go
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like you know what I do? You know what? I'm sorry. That was my initial excited utterance. That's a law term. Thank you very much. What I do is I don't breathe. Like I stop breathing. And I just hold my breath, and I feel like after a few minutes it goes away. But I do love scaring someone.
It's always fun.
Great. What's your favorite vegetable?
Right now, you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said carrots. Right now, my favorite vegetable are cucumbers. I put them in. I have been on this binge of like wanting to be hoity-toity, and I put cucumbers in my water, and I have cucumber water. And
Have
I
you ever
love it.
made water with cucumbers, like blend them up and like do a thing. Like it's called agua de pepino.
Mhm.
Agua de but yeah, that's what.
Wait, so you blend the cucumbers and like that's the
You
liquid?
add a little bit of sugar You add some water. Well, yeah, that's the liquid to start. So they're mostly water. So you blend them up, get that much, but then you can dilute it because it's kind of like a concentrate, and add some lime juice. And then, like in your poured glass, a few slices of cucumber, a slice of lime. Oh, when I tell you, it's also a really great base for tequila. But I do drink it by itself.
Okay.
That's how I started. Vodka works well in it too. Okay, sorry.
Do you shave the skin? Oh, that's not the right expression, but do you take the you peel the skin off?
You take some of the skin off. You don't have to take all of it
Okay.
off. You probably don't really need, but that's just to help it be smoother.
Okay.
So like the one time that I was like, let me see what happens if I don't shave all the skin off. I ended up straighting it to a degree.
This
Like
is the cooking hour with David and Alana with our guest Scott.
Absolutely.
Too bad for y'all.
So
I don't
good.
eat
It's
vegetables.
So refreshing. So refreshing. It's so good. But yeah, I've been eating cucumbers like crazy too.
Nice.
Sorry.
Good.
David, board games, video games, or no games?
Oh, definitely games. Depends on the day. I have I think 7 or 8 video game systems. It's insane. I also have an arcade machine that has 900 games on it and a pinball machine. But I love it. I have I mostly love horror games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and then this game Little Nightmares. Really enjoy Little Nightmares. But board games, there's times for board games like snowy night that you're staying in. JD, who I'd mentioned, assistant directed at the table, good friend. JD has, I think, I don't know, 400 board games, and a lot of them are long form board games. So if I want an evening of just one board game, I think there was one called like it's not called House on Haunted Hill. It's called like House on the Top of the Hill. Just barely different. And that's a really fun game. I've played that with them a couple times. They even hosted a birthday party for me one year, where they had sound effects and they hosted. It was really fun. Yeah.
I love that.
That's cute.
All right. And this can be in or out of theater. What's your proudest moment?
Proudest moment. I'm trying to think of it's funny that the first thing I think of is when I was doing a kids play. My nephew, who's now in his early 20s, was I think 4. And this is not a proud moment, but it's what I thought of, so how I'm gonna answer. But it was the Reluctant Dragon, about George and the Dragon, and I play the little boy. And we do this slow motion moment where the knight is about to stab the dragon. It's a giant pool noodle shaped like a sword, and we're very goofy in how we're doing it. It's a kid's play, and but I go to save the dragon, so I get in the way of the pool noodle. And at the end of the dramatic moment, I'm on the floor having been stabbed by this giant pool noodle. And normally it's just like a very quick silence, and then I stand up and I go, I'm okay. But for this performance, I couldn't get up because as soon as that happened, all I hear from the audience is my nephew screaming, "They killed Uncle David!" And he's crying so hard, and we're laughing on stage. It's so awkward. That's my proudest moment.
Making your nephew cry.
Oh my god!
I feel like there's a better answer than that.
No, that's great. That's great. One of my nephews, when he was 4, I didn't get killed on stage, but we were very, very close, and he could not stand for me to be up there and him to be in the audience. So he was just a mess, like trying to get to me. And so at intermission, I had to go out in the house and like talk him down, let him know it was okay. He just had to sit and watch. And then when it was over, I'd be back with him. It was incredible. I mean, really touching. We're not so close now that he's a grown man, like whatever. But at that time, but my brother, who was a grown man, I was in a play. It was like teenagers in a gang or whatever, and I was going to confront the person with the gun. And my brother, not realizing he was speaking aloud, my brother was 13 years older than I, was like, "Please don't shoot my sister."
What a protective brother. That's
It's a play, David. He's a whole grown man. Anyway.
I will say there was a really nice moment in high school when I was a freshman. We were doing adaptation of Young Frankenstein, and I was playing Igor. And my grandfather had passed away about 8 months earlier, and my grandmother kind of hadn't really left the house, but she came to this performance of the that we were. It was a for state competition, and it was a pre-performance for the families, and so my grandma came, and parents were allowed to give feedback after the play, which is always a great idea. But my grandma stood up and she goes, "I'm David's bubby, and my husband passed away 8 months ago." I'm like, "Oh no, bubby." But this is the happiest I've been in a long time, and I think what you did was wonderful, and I enjoyed the play so much. And we're all like, "Oh my goodness." And she became like the theater bubby after that. She was at every show, like support. She was never supporting me after that. She was supporting everyone else. In fact, we would go to state and she would support other schools. And I became lifelong friends with people from other schools because they're like, "Oh, like, you know Bubby?" And I go, "Yes, I know Bubby." I would say that's proud. Like that Bubby became like our unofficial mascot.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's really sweet. Yeah. Shifting gears. Who is your favorite dead celebrity?
Dead celebrity. Oh my goodness. I didn't know these quirky questions in advance. The great question. Dead celebrity. Well, the people I like the most are still alive, so the first person that's coming to mind is Jack Palance, and that is a ridiculous answer.
But is that your answer?
I don't want it to be my answer. Why are you asking me all these questions?
That's Betty White's
Oh,
dad.
I did love Betty White. Yeah. I mean, really, any of the Golden Girls would be a great answer. I'm gonna say not Jack Palance. Who would think of that?
You.
I'm gonna go with all 4 of the Golden Girls.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. I thought of it myself.
Good answer. You totally did. He's been doing that this whole episode. So tell to us this. Are you fluent in any other language?
No. I did take Spanish in high school, and I remember none of it. And I tried to learn sign language, but during the pandemic. But I then I know.
I mean, do you? What is it?
Wait, one of these is yes, and one of these is no. I think I did it right.
You did do it right.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
And is this I don't know?
Yeah, or like, what are you doing, or what do you mean? It can be both. All three of those.
Yeah. I would love to relearn sign language for sure. Like that's definitely on my list for one.
It's one of my favorite things ever.
David, our last question as part of this quirky questionnaire is, what is your dream role?
Mendel in falsettos.
All right.
That is my dream role.
Which one is that?
He's the psychiatrist. He's the I feel like I feel like my singing voice and my performance style is very Chip Zien, who was who originated the role. And I would play any Chip Zien character, even his small supporting role in the movie Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, I Mendel and falsettos.
Nice. You would make a good baker in Into the Woods too.
I don't know if anyone would ever see me as that. Like he's almost like the straight man, and I don't feel
Yeah.
like anyone ever sees me as the straight man.
Well,
I feel like this is the first time we got like a direct and specific answer to that question, even
That's
before
true.
we started the quirky questionnaire.
Which is ironic because every other answer I gave you, I took 15 minutes to figure out what to say.
It's awesome. I love it. And with that, it's time for props.
And in props, we like to give shouts out to directors, assistant directors, stage managers, overstudies, understudies, anybody who helps us do the work that we do. So, David, who do you got props for?
I wanted to give props for the stage management team that worked on Angels, Sam and Beep. Like those two, they were working full-time jobs.
Beep. You know Beep. I forgot you know Beep too, Alana.
Yeah,
we love Beep.
Yeah. I the two of them were godsends during that production, and pretty sure they were at the theater 60 hours a week. So I knew when giving props, I was like, I gotta give a shout out to Sam.
Yeah.
Their full names, I believe, are Sam Flip and Beep Treps. And that's not his
Beep,
first.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Beep, his name is Beep Beep.
Yes.
Beep beep. Yes, that's what we thought.
Oh, and I should probably give a shout out to Jannard Washington. Full name. Full name.
Mm-hmm.
Full name.
Yes.
Good call. Good call.
Nice. Alana, do you have any
I have one
props?
prop. I mean,
Yeah.
like everybody on Mary Jane was really, really awesome. But MJ Joaquin, I think is how you say their last name. I'm not sure. They were like floor manager, assistant, costume assistant person. They had a real title. I have failed at recalling it, but I'm really grateful, right? Like they only had like one extra thing to do for me for my characters, but they were always so kind, conversational, and just like they're the kind of person that tricks you into thinking that everybody you're working with is going to be your lifelong friend. Right? You know, so like when you were young, you really thought like you were gonna be friends with everybody, and then it was like, not because they don't want to be my friend, I didn't try, but just like that feeling of like, oh, I just met a new person and we're gonna be connected forever. Just by their nature. I was really grateful to their presence for their presence.
Awesome. Nice. I don't think I got anything new. I mean, I could shout out the parents that did all the costumes.
I was gonna say
and
maybe
stuff.
the parents of that last show.
They pulled it off. They did all the costumes. They got all the props. They wrangled the kids from place to place. They really made that whole show work because I mean we were working with 4th through 6th grade mostly, or 3rd through 6th. So like a lot of these kids have never had roles where they're not like in the ensemble and coming on for a song and going off for a song. This is like a play. So they all have a little bit more individual responsibility. And the parents just, they came together on it and they did awesome. So that's my props.
Yay. parents.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything currently?
I
Or later, or that you would want to promote or something?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not performing in anything right now, but I am also a playwright. And one of my plays is getting performed in Houston, Texas, next month or in April. I don't know when this is being released.
Yeah.
Um, at the end of April. So if you're near the Kincaid School in Houston, Texas, you can see my play, the all new dating game video game edition.
That is awesome.
And I'm currently waiting to hear back about what I'm a finalist. A play of mine is a finalist for the Seven Devils New Play Foundry, which is a really nice and prestigious play festival in
Mm.
McCall, Idaho.
Mm.
So I'm waiting to hear back. But currently I'm a finalist, and so if selected, then come to McCall, Idaho, the first week of June and see Anna and the Wig Monster. It's co-written with my
Nice.
friend Lisa. Oh, I'm gonna pronounce her last name wrong. No, I know it. I know it actually. Della Giorino Farin. Scott happened to be in a reading of it last summer. I honestly wrote the part of the dad for Scott because it is just cringe enough that only Scott could play it.
That's excellent. I love that. Well,
Yeah, that's
congrats
a
on
really
being a
good play too.
Thank you.
finalist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a really fun
Okay.
play too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, actually, David, anything else that you wanted to share before we go into the finale of this?
Does the finale include great shows that you've seen recently? Or is that would that be
No.
this part?
Yeah. Yeah. You seen a good show lately?
I saw The Pets at Bramble and I really enjoyed that. And yes, that play stars Denard Washington.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But no, I cried. It's closed now, so you can't see it. But I was fully immersed into that world that they brought us in, and my friend Ben Locke was also in it, and I cried. I cried at the end. I was very moved by their performances, and I don't cry. I cry actually a lot. What am I talking about? But
I'm just about to laugh for no
yeah,
reason.
I guess I don't cry in a public setting very often. It's usually at home by myself.
Sure. Just crying in your Cheerios.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting me add this last part.
Yeah, great. David, we like to finish off with a question of what is a piece of advice that you wish you had when you were getting into Chicago theater, or a piece of advice that you would give to somebody entering Chicago theater now?
Well, I mean, for law, I would say don't go to law school. If you'd like, I think you know what, it's not worth it. But that's not really the Chicago theater problem. Um, Chicago theater, I would say, you know, give yourself space. Like that, not every opportunity is meant to be. And so, there will be, places that fit. There will be the theaters um, that you end up having a good like connection to. But it's okay. It takes time. I think that's the main thing.
Nice.
Thank you, David.
Why not go to law school?
Like being a lawyer, I mean, they want to like incorporate AI into everything, and it's really annoying. I don't have to do that, but like it's just stressful. Well, it's stressful.
Do you want to go to law school, Scott?
I've thought about it.
Every 2 years, I have my eldest niece talk me out of it.
Ah.
Because in between, I start thinking of all the reasons I should, because I would be excellent at it. But then it sounds stressful and daunting, and so I have to be like, hey, remind me again why.
Well,
it works.
if either of you,
I'm not enrolled.
if either of you do take that journey, let me know, and you can, work at my law firm, as a clerk and then as an associate. So
that's very kind.
yeah.
Now, see, now you're gonna expedite my process. I wanted to call her again, like, no, but there could be an opportunity if I do. You gotta up your resistance game. She's come up with some really creative things that are all very, like, they're good reminders for me to not do that. Like, they're good reasons. So, but we've never had such an offer on the table. So.
Right. Yeah, nobody's ever given us a job offer on this show. That's crazy.
Right. Okay.
Well, David, it's been awesome having you finally on the show. Against all my wishes.
I had to beg him to let you be on. Year after year. That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you both. I appreciate you letting me on and blabbing. And even though I know I was Scott's last choice.
He was also my last choice for the show I cast him in. So it's easy breezy. He understands.
Hey.
He was the best choice.
Oh my! So you're saying I'm the best choice?
Okay.
Wait, guys, did the internet go out? What just happened?
Holy moly. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, David. We hope you enjoyed our conversation today with David Lipschutz and that it gives deeper insight into the art of understudying.
To send us a question or give a suggestion of someone we should interview, email us at understudypodcast@gmail.com.
Or hit us up at understudypod on Facebook and Instagram.
We want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers, especially Marcella Huff and Stanley Sava.
If you want to support the show, head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/understudypod.
Our theme song and all other music are by Laura Mackenzie.
Our episodes are edited by me and produced by me and Alana.
Thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, please hit subscribe on your podcast player of choice and tell your friends.
And if you hated it, tell your enemies.
And their parents.
And their stupid parents.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.